minutes each, and it is requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda. Prior to addressing the council, any handouts for council will be provided to the city clerk for distribution to the council and appropriate staff. The public will have an opportunity to comment on items on the agenda once the item has been called, and the mayor opens the item to the public. Is there any public comment? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Ceremonial presentation 2-1. Presentation with PG&E Representative, Mr. Nathan Alonso. Sorry about the last name mix-up.
That's okay. I thought we were trying to add me on to the family of a city staffer. Poor thing, going to get back from maternity leave and figure out that she's got a cousin who works at PG&E.
This is right after the bills are done.
Right. You're pretty brave coming right now, by the way.
Oh, I know. I thought about it. Let's go back to the first slide. There we go. Well, good afternoon, Mayor Matthews, my former chancellor at West Hills Community College, council members, and your very last meeting, Kevin. Congratulations. My name is Nathan Alonso. I am your local government affairs representative for Pacific Gas and Electric. And I'm here this afternoon to give you a quick update on some of the things that we're doing to bend the curve on affordability, steps that we're taking to better steward the way that we spend ratepayer dollars, some of the strategies underway to help reduce bills, and then something that was recently passed at the California Public Utilities Commission that will help ratepayers and customers save in their monthly PG&E bills starting in January of 2026. So want to start off with that, and the income graduated fixed charge came after an effort in 2022 between the investor-owned utilities, so us, SCE, SDG&E, the legislature, the Newsom administration, and the California Public Utilities Commission. I think there was a recognition that over the course of the last 10, 12 years, residential customer bills have gotten to a point where customers are experiencing a significant affordability crunch. I know that as I stand here, all of you have gotten your June and July utility bills, and I am sure that you have noticed that there's an impact there compared to maybe what you have paid last year, both on the price per kilowatt hour, but maybe also the usage. In July, we had 25 days over 100 degrees. So therefore, I'm assuming that what you probably used as far as electricity goes in your homes has significantly increased from where we were last year. And you're seeing the effect of that in your bill. So in order to begin to provide rate relief and customer savings, all of these different parties that I just went over came up with something called an income graduated fixed charge, which was designed specifically to begin to help mostly our customers that are on CARE and FERA. Those are income qualified programs. If you make a certain dollar amount or less, you get a discount on your power bill. But not only those, all of our customers as well. So the income graduated fixed charge was a bill that was passed in 2022. The bill said that by June of this year, the California Public Utilities Commission had to come up with a plan where 3 income tiers would be paying a fixed charge and where there would be a reduction in your price per kilowatt hour. The way that your bill works today is your price per kilowatt hour and what it costs us to build, maintain, and innovate the electric grid is all bundled together into one price per kilowatt hour. That's how we come up with, if you're on the traditional rate plan, the 43 cents per kilowatt hour that you see today. What the income graduated fixed charge does is it separates those two charges. There is the price that it takes us to build, maintain, and innovate the grid, and then your price per kilowatt hour or your volumetric charge, the volume of electricity that you use. So on the next slide, I'll show you what those numbers are of the 3 different tiers. But by bifurcating these charges, we have been able to bring down the price per kilowatt hour on the volumetric or usage side by 7 cents per kilowatt hour. If you're a care or FERA customer, and you're paying 29 cents per kilowatt hour, that's a savings of at least 25%. So these are the three tiers. If you're a care customer, you're going to be paying $6 a month, a FERA customer, $12 a month. And if you don't qualify for those income programs and you're a traditional customer, like many of us are, you'll be paying $24.15. So in coming up with the fixed charge, the Public Utilities Commission, our regulator, looked at how much customers are paying statewide in other utilities that have a fixed charge. There's some in the very northernmost points of California that pay a $6 fixed charge, and it ranges from that to the folks down in Riverside are paying $87.15 in a fixed charge. The 2415 number for traditional customers was come up with because it mirrored the fixed charge that's being charged to customers at SMUD, the Sacramento Municipal Utilities District. I think the Public Utilities Commission felt like there was a lot of similarity between our customers and theirs on income levels and maybe some of the other ways in which they receive services. So the 2415 is similar to what they're paying. Now, want to go to some positive news after that jumble of the income graduated fixed charge. You may have seen some media in late June, some news stories out there. Our rates will temporarily decrease by 9% starting July 1st. So the reason that they're decreasing by that 9% is that in 2021 and 2022, we responded to a number of natural wildfires and rebuilt the grid after that. In 2022, we got walloped by 11 atmospheric rivers. We had to rebuild the grid after that. And all of those costs got bundled together and got recouped through rates over the course of the last couple of years. We have now recouped a lot of those costs. So now those costs roll off of your bill and you see the rate decrease of 9%. You should be seeing that in your bills starting now. And that is something that we think will specifically help customers that live in hotter climates or like us here in the Central Valley the most for the next couple months. So one of the big efforts that we have underway on our customer side, customer organization side, is enrolling as many people as we can that are eligible to be on our care and FERA plans, enrolling as many of them as possible in those programs. So care and FERA provide a monthly discount of between 18 and 20% to customers that are income qualified. And these can be seniors, folks on a fixed income, or families that make underneath a certain threshold. And we are sending customer service representatives to community events, backpack giveaways, other miscellaneous community events where we think we can get a hold of customers that may be eligible for care. But we can enroll folks at any time if they get a hold of us on our website or our 1-800 number. And then the website is pg.com/care. Phone number is 1-800-743-5000. Remembered that off the top of my head. Go me. And then these are some of the financial assistance programs. I'll call significant attention to the first and the last one. REACH is a program where we collaborate with a nonprofit called Dollar Energy Fund. And we go to different community events or customers can get a hold of us. And we provide a triple match to their last payment, utility bill payment, if they have a back balance with us. So if they have a $400, for example, a $400 outstanding balance with us, and they paid $100 over the course of the last month, this Dollar Energy Fund and the REACH program will triple match that $100 payment, thereby eliminating that $400 balance and getting them back to zero. That's similar to the LIHEAP program, which is the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. We collaborate with community-based organizations on that one, and customers can get more information on the local nonprofit that is helping us facilitate that program here locally. They're at that website. And both of these programs are designed to help eliminate any utility debt or utility bill backlog that a customer may have.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
For the energy saving assistance program, how do you qualify for that? The third one.
I think it's geographic and income based, but I can get back to you with specific information.
Okay. Thank you.
There we go. And then this graphic that I really wanted to get into the details with this group is our how we spend your dollar at PG&E, the dollar breakdown. There's always the questions of, what are you guys doing with all this money? How come it's always more money? And so we wanted to break it down. So about 54 cents out of your dollar goes towards energy generation and then O&M, operations and maintenance. So making your power, distributing your power, getting it to your home. A little under a dime or about 9 cents is our authorized rate of return, which is the money that PG&E makes. And then 5 cents are the taxes that we pay at the federal, state, and then specifically here at the local level. A lot of communities, we have an annual franchise fee, plus other taxes that we pay here locally. But the thing that I want to draw your attention specifically to, and what we'll probably be coming to you with over the course of the next year or two, is the leftmost portion of that dollar, which is state mandates. About a third of your overall bill is state mandates, which is ideas that the legislature, the administration, and the commission come up with. They pass them, and then we are mandated to tack them onto your bill. So when we look at opportunities, and like I said, that we'll be engaging with you on ways to bend the curve, create more savings, and reduce customer bills, we're going to be targeting that leftmost portion of the bill, which is the state mandates. So what does that look like? We may be coming to you and asking for support on going to the legislature or going to the commission saying, we believe that some programs have met their utility. We need to create some additional parity on how we are operating some of these programs, or some of these don't serve a purpose anymore. We need to roll them off. But now I want to draw some attention to some of the portions of that 31 cents that are in your bill that are state mandates that we think we can realize some savings on, or if not, reform a little bit. So 10% of your overall bill every month goes towards vegetation management. That is to reduce risk in high wildfire threat areas. I know that that's probably lost on this group here on a valley floor where there is no high wildfire threat. That is something that we're taking seriously. Right now, there's efforts underway to see if we can securitize or long-term borrow in order to do that out in the market. So that way we can roll that off the bill and realize an immediate savings. Because 10% of your overall bill goes towards paying for that. So if you have a $200 bill, $20 goes towards vegetation management. 6% of your bill goes towards the pot that helps subsidize those on care and FIRA. And then the biggest piece of it, and one that I want to point out to you, is that if you don't have solar today and you are an electric customer, you are paying $35 a month to subsidize those that do have solar. And this doesn't discriminate between your traditional customers or your care and FIRA customers. So you could have somebody who's on a fixed income who qualifies for care and FIRA and are really in a tight financial position that are chipping in $35 a month in their utility bill to subsidize folks who do have solar. So over the course of the last couple of years and the net energy metering 3.0 proceeding, we put in a lot of effort in trying to identify and call attention to and ask for reform on the fairness of that. Because right now what we're seeing is that those that can least afford solar are the ones that are subsidizing it the most. So in bringing up all of this, there's other things that we're doing too as a company over the course of the last year. We realized $510 million in savings. 300 million of that was in renegotiating vegetation management contracts, being more efficient in our electric interconnection process, and realizing other savings that way. We're continuing to do whatever we can to tighten our belts and be more efficient with money on our end. To try to do our part in helping to stabilize customer bills with the goal of rolling things off to help bring them down as soon as we can. So there is that. I wanted to now open it up for questions.
Any questions from council?
Thank
Yeah.
you for the bill.
Yeah. The, when are we gonna have a discussion in the state about nuclear power?
Well, we're having it now because we got a 5-year extension on the operation of Diablo Canyon Nuclear Power Plant. It is the state's last operating nuclear power plant. Provides between 11 and 17% of the state's overall electric load every day, depending on its operation and the state's need. We don't see the need going away anytime soon. If anything, peak electric demand will continue to go up, especially as the state has mandated that we get closer towards a future of electrification and 100% clean and renewable energy. That asset continues to be more important, and I think that the current administration, this governor, and the legislature are starting to be very cognizant of what a future without Diablo would look like for the grid, and how cost effective it is for us to create energy there. So anything that you can do to help us echo that it would be very helpful. Because as you and I have talked about before, you have plenty of countries in Western Europe, like in France, where they have a bunch of neighborhood nuclear assets, and they're able to do a marvelous job of operating their grid there at a very cost-effective price point.
There's, there's 10 states that rely on nuclear energy. And I don't think most Americans realize that there's 10 states that do that. And we have the highest price per kilowatt hour.
Mhm.
And most of those 10 states, I think, are under 19 cents per kilowatt hour and below.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our
crazy.
cost for creating energy, the price per kilowatt hour creating on nuclear is very cost effective.
Yeah. And you have no way of outside the legislature. You really have no way, because the legislature puts that demand of those state mandates
Mhm.
on you, and that gets passed on to us.
Yeah, and this started in, I think, 2006 with SB 32 by Senator Pavley. I think then in 2015, SB 32 again was the same bill number by Senator De Leon, mandated that we get to that future of 100% renewable by 2030. Then it got kicked out to 2035. We're doing what we can on the wind, solar, and other renewable front to get towards that, but
Never going to get there with the wind and solar.
well, you can say that on your microphone.
Oh, well, thank you.
Do they consider nuclear to be renewable?
It's not considered nuclear, or nuclear is not considered renewable under the state's interpretation today.
Good answer. Interpretation, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under the state's interpretation, that and then large scale hydro isn't even considered renewable.
It is a
It's
mission.
not? Wow.
And any other questions from council? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and open it to the public. Any questions from the public?
Mayor, let me just interrupt for a second to indicate we're having technical difficulties to get the Zoom working tonight. Apparently there was some change in the ID and our IT manager is working on it, but I think one person was able to sign on, but there may be others. We have 4? Okay, well, maybe it's working better than we think, but it's
Okay.
still having some difficulties. It will be recorded and able for replay, but we apologize for anybody who's not able to access tonight.
And we're not blaming PG&E for that, right?
No,
Okay,
no,
I'm
no.
just-
But we get blamed for plenty else. Come on, Frank.
Was there anybody that was able to make it online that had a comment?
The
Okay. Okay.
The thing I'd close with is I know one of the big concerns in this community is electric capacity.
Mhm.
The ability for new businesses to come here and set up shop, and then also for existing businesses here to expand their operations in order to provide additional jobs, tax base, and economic development here in this community. That is something that is at the forefront of our minds as we're doing electric distribution planning and we're doing upgrades. Rest assured that whoever comes here, we will do our best to serve them. We will do our best to partner with them, and we will do our best to either attract them here, or if they're already here, get them to stay. So you have a unconditional partner in us in making sure that we deliver for them. We'll do whatever we can on our end to communicate early, to set the expectations, and then to work with them on their timeline.
You did hear that this meeting is recorded.
Yes,
You
that's
just
why I
said
said that.
Okay, just making sure that was clear.
Very much so.
Mayor, could I comment on that?
Sure.
I think you're probably aware that we've had a fair amount of difficulty of getting new businesses. Some of them have been delayed for weeks and if not months from opening simply because of problems of getting adequate connection. I see our building director back there concerned about that. So hopefully your recent statements are a renewed commitment to try to work with us better than we've had.
Yeah,
Been
absolutely.
able to in the past.
Absolutely. And it's a recognition that we've had issues and a recognition that we have taken the experience and the feedback back in order to make sure that we're planning better, that we're receiving feedback as to where you think businesses are going to show up, what kind of businesses are coming, what their needs are going to be. And then on our end, how we can resource up in order to meet that demand.
Kevin and I had a meeting last week with Abigail Solis and Cameron Borgie, I think is his name, from the governor's office. So I know that I had spoke with you before concerning how you had talked about expanding capacity here. And then I'm hearing that the governor or the state is pushing the EV infrastructure and how I was concerned what that would mean for us and our expansion at the same time. So we did bring that to their attention and they did take note of that. So hopefully we can continue that conversation with them as well.
Yeah, transportation electrification, both on the residential front, your electric vehicles, but also fleet electrification on the business front is something that we have dedicated teams to, but we share your concern and efforts to making sure that we're ramping up all at the same time.
Go ahead, sir.
I just want to say thanks. Our Public Works Director, Mr. Rivera, indicated that we're going to begin some lighting on Iona pretty soon on Iona Avenue between 19th and 18th.
That we'll be getting electrification out there?
Well, there's electricity there, the street lighting. Yeah, so
Go
appreciate it.
us.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Oh yeah, you called me about that. Mayor Matthews brought that to our attention a while back. We were able to get a hold of our service planning and streetlight teams, and this has actually been, I think, a project that we've been working on for a while.
right.
But much like government, I'm not saying local government because y'all are pretty good. Things take a bit.
Well, Frank's been working on it for 4 years, I feel like, so.
Well, we've added.
It's nice to see some fruit, you know.
Yeah, we've added
after-
about 100 homes on that street, on that artery there, and so it's nice to be able
Yeah.
to do that. And I also want to thank you for representing West Hills real well.
Any final questions, comments? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Then 2-2, we have presentation on utility billing update. Ms. Valdez.
Good evening, Mayor Matthews and council members. I'm pleased to bring you the latest updates and highlights from our utility billing department. A few things to mark of notice. Our EFT auto pay signups continue to grow each month. We currently have 574 accounts signed up on this. The monthly files continue to get bigger each month. The number of accounts that we are shutting off for non-payment is reducing. We began again in June. And in June, we had 150 accounts. This last month in August, that is reduced down to 73. So we are seeing significant impact in there. Some projects that we have going right now, as we replace all of our broken or damaged meters, we are replacing them with AMI compatible registers so that as we look to the future and hopefully be able to go completely AMI, we will be ready for those.
What is AMI? I'm sorry.
Oh, now you asked me that. It's the automated
Oh.
process of it. So we won't have to go and touch every meter. It will be the click of a button and they will all come in through the tower. Some Tyler updates. We currently have 4 tickets. We had 5, but as of yesterday, we were able to get our one-time payments through the CSS, the Citizen Self-Service Portal, up and running. So we put a public service announcement out there today. And we've already had customers coming and using the application. It's working very well at this time. So we no longer need to use the old system for making payments. They can go into the CSS portal, access their account balance, and make their payments all in one place.
Or are we advertising that to the,
We put it on our website as well as we put it on Facebook. And I believe, I didn't get to check this afternoon, but the IT department was working on sharing that with the Lemoore citizens page as well.
how about in the bill? Is there anything in the bill that we?
It's too late to make it go out in this month's bill, but we can put an announcement out for the next month. As well as we do have the new electronic sign that's going up and we will look to utilize that as well.
It's too soon to tell if there's any issues with the function, correct? Since it just went live today.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just a suggestion. I don't know if it would work, but is there a possibility of advertising for a couple of hours where you would be willing to show somebody if they came in, they could make an appointment, you could show them how to do it on a computer?
Every time a customer comes in, our clerks walk them through the process of signing up for CSS. We can't do it for them. They need to create their own
I
login
realize
and
that.
such, but
Yeah, I realize that, but I'm just wondering if that's good. Okay, thank you.
so we do still have 4 other tickets that we're working on through Tyler support, myself, the IT department, and we also are utilizing our PM for the project manager for the EPNL, the business license and permitting side. He has been gracious enough to help us reach out to other departments as well to try and get some of our tickets pushed and get some resolution. And I believe that's why we were able to get our one-time payments, up and running. Everybody's poking. And the last thing is just our customer issues. Just like to note that we do research every concern and issue that we receive, whether it's via social media or in the office. We take a look at every account and make sure if there is an error on our side that we absolutely correct it. We would reverse any fees that should not have applied to the customer's account. And we do our best to make the situation right. If it is not an error that is made on our part, we do the best to educate the member and the customer and give them their options to better their situation going forward. We do
If I could just
spend,
make a comment to that. I have a little bit of frustration in that, and this is not directed at you or anybody in particular. It just seems like we put this out there before it was ready. We went live with it before we should have. The mix up with the operating, paying your bill over here, but it's the wrong amount, but you can get the right amount over here or look on your paper bill. It just seemed like it was very confusing and not the best foot that we could have put forward in this whole situation. In hindsight, I wish we would have just waited until we knew that everything was working and then went live with it so that we could, it's been months that our citizens have been dealing with this situation. You've gotten many complaints. We've all gotten many complaints. I understand the citizens' frustration because it's not their fault. It's totally on us that they're in this situation and having to try to navigate that. So I'm hoping that it sounds like this is hopefully coming to an end and that's good. But just want to put it out there that it's something that shouldn't have happened. So
Mhm.
thank you for
Absolutely
the
agree.
fix.
I might point out that we did stop penalties because of that difficulty for a while on late fees, and we waived quite a bit of information. This dates back to January, February, I think, when you're right, it could have worked definitely much better, but we are looking at every complaint that we get, whether it's through social media on Lemoore citizens. Unfortunately, some people are complaining where we look at their accounts and we can't share that, it's privacy matter. We can't share that on social media, but not finding a valid reason for them to not be paying their appropriate amount that's showing. And I think they've, in a way, taken advantage a little bit of the difficulties we've had. But we are looking at each one, as Jocelyn pointed out. If there's anybody that we find that has not been treated fairly or didn't get the correct information, we will make amends and have done that.
I understand your point. I still think that we created the problem.
We did.
And hopefully moving forward, and this has nothing to do with utility billing, but any other Tyler that we implement in the future, hopefully that we make sure that it's fully functional before we go live with it.
I'm looking at the police chief because I know he wants the dispatch services to work well, and we don't want to have these kind of problems there.
Mhm.
Amen, brother. Well, the two calls I got this past couple of times had to do with the meters. How do we let individuals know they're going to get a different meter? Do we let them know that or at all?
At times we do notify the customer, but if it's something that we have found on our own, then we just do the work order, we process it and change out the meter itself. There isn't a customer notification every time a meter is changed out now.
Okay. That's something you might want to just consider, because part of it is the suspicion builds up as to now they're changing. I had a problem with my bill. Now they're changing my meter. So we're not helping ourselves in terms of explaining the whole process. So just food for thought.
I can look into that. That's all I had for you tonight.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to item 2-3, presentation on plans for a 3-can pickup per week. Mr. Rivera?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I just want to give you a brief update on where we're at with refuse with the implementation of the SB 1383. We are getting prepared to go 3-can pickup at the start of the calendar year. We had mentioned earlier that we're going to try to do it at the end of the fiscal year, but with the holidays and the confusion with pickups being moved from day to day, we think it's easier to start off with January 6th as being our day. So in the next few meetings, we will bring in the CAL's recycle software that will help us generate our routes, create significant efficiencies across day-to-day activities, help us with our enforcement, as well as help us track all reporting requirements to put us in full compliance with SB 1383. Some of those efficiencies are going to be geotagging cans so that emails don't have to be sent, as well as pre-trip inspections will be done digitally. We're working on updating existing information that is posted on our website. Some of the information will include descriptive flyers that show exactly what is allowed in each of the 3 cans, black, blue, and green. Update refuse route maps and show pickup days for all cans. Trash can, we have a little detail on trash can spacing requirements. A lot of residents don't know you need to space your trash cans 3 feet apart and away from cars or obstacles, or else we'll be unable to pick the can up. So we'll have a little detail that shows that.
They also should be behind a fence.
Pardon?
They also should be behind a fence too.
Behind the fence.
That's
We
what-
can make that note. So I'll make note of that. Advertising and outreach, we'll utilize our web page. We'll send information, flyers, and refuse route map schedules to all residents in our November utility bill. And we'll utilize our new City Hall electronic board. So these are just some of the things that we're gonna use for sources of outreach to residents and commercial customers. Of course, we'll add to this list, but this is just kind of a brief update. I have Chris Bonvolos, the refuse superintendent here. He'd like to maybe talk about what he's doing in the field. Chris, you want to have a little something to say?
I'm just excited about this new program. It's going to help us. We have a lot of new hires. We've lost a lot of people because of all the stuff that happened about privatization. People got scared and left. But we had to hire new people. The way we're doing things is old school pen and paper, and people get confused about, new people get confused about what dumpster gets picked up when. We're missing stuff, so we're having to go back and pick it up later. On our automated routes, the residential pickup, we're snapping a photo with your iPhone and having to send an email. All that stuff costs time. When we're not picking up trash, we're not efficient. All these things will gain efficiencies, make us better. We won't be missing cans, and if we do, we'll be able to give you a reason why and what happened. Also, like if you're contaminated, it will show pictures. It gives you a 30-second window of before we picked it up, what's going in the hopper in the truck. And it shows your address and your specific can. So you can't argue and say that that's not my can or that wasn't mine. It shows it. And so it just keeps honest people honest. It shows people, gives people information that we can educate them. And moving forward, we're just really excited about it. We want to serve the public. We're here to help. We want to be a partner. We just want to give a good service, good rate, be a part of the community. Sure.
So we're going to start this in January.
Yes.
So how do you handle the leaves in the fall? How are you, what's your plan?
So leaves will go in your green can.
Is there a way for us to allow individuals to get?
You can still get a second green can or a third. It's just, I believe it's $3 a can, something like that to your monthly bill. Well, now,
For now.
because it's a bi-weekly pickup.
Yeah.
But if you went at January 6th, that'll change. If you want a second can, it's going to cost you an extra $3.
What if I get a second can now and then in January, will it then get billed
No, it will.
or will it stay free? Okay, it'll get billed. All right.
Are we communicating to people who currently have 2 green cans that that's going to change?
All that stuff will go out on a flyer, hopefully with a calendar. We'll try to get as much information out as possible, as early as possible, that way people can absorb it. If they have any questions, we can try to correct it and make sure everybody's aware and what our expectations are of them and what expectations them of us. And
I think it's important to tell people, don't put the leaves in the street, put them in a green can, because
Yeah.
we won't sweep them up.
Yeah, there's still people that doing it.
Still a lot of people doing that.
No,
It's a fire hazard.
you are absolutely 100% correct. Unfortunately, the way the state is, we can't pick them up off the street with the old school deep machines like we used to have.
Right, that's what, the people still sweeping them on the street and then
Right.
tell them. to put
And
them in.
unfortunately, our street sweeper still has to chip away at that months and months after
Right.
fall leaves.
If I could just make a request when you send out the calendar, make it the little sticker, because I know people were
You
very
know what?
upset about that this last year.
I'm 100% behind that. I still, like, I'm a resident here too, so I still like to have the magnet on my refrigerator. It helps keep track of everything. And it's gonna be a little confusing at first, like it's a transition with everything. But we're gonna try to be out, and if we have to go door to door, put flyers on cans, willing to do whatever it takes to try to get the information out.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the public? The question was, is there going to be a rate increase in January of 2025?
We are currently, in 2018, 19, we had a rate study and it was good for 5 years. We're in the last year of that. Of course, with the new service and the increased cost of everything, I'm sure there's going to be a rate study soon. I don't know when the rates are going to change or how soon that's going to take place. Um, Speculating, we're gonna try to do it in-house. The rate study, instead of contracting out to somebody else, we have staff that'll take that on, that I'm aware of. Not in January, it won't go up immediately, but in the next year or two, you're gonna for sure see an increase. It's just because we're talking about electrification of the fleet. Right now, if I was to buy a new garbage truck, it's $400,000 just for conversation. An EV electric truck would be $800 to $1 million, and probably do half or 3/4
Exactly.
of the work.
Mhm.
I don't have any control over that. Like it's state managed. I can't control that. But no matter who you get is going to be in the same boat as we are. So their costs are going to increase too. So there's no magic.
I got a question. If you ever see the loophole or the ability to bring back the sucking up the leaves on the curb in the future, bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not really my department, but
Okay, I'm talking
everybody-
I'm talking to
everybody,
anybody.
it's sewer, the storm drain thing.
Yeah, we cannot create a, what you consider, they don't allow us to pick the leaves up, stockpile them, and then take them to a facility.
No, Frank, I understand the
Yeah.
problem. I'm just
So
saying
until
that
we get around
if there's,
that.
if anything ever
yeah.
changes in the future.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll definitely look into that, yeah. Right now, all we're doing is, as part of the storm protection, we have our crew out,
Yeah.
vacuuming out DIs, anything that has to do with storm rate, concerns, so. Yeah.
It'd be my estimate that once we get into the third can halfway through this fiscal year, get some experience, we'll probably be looking at a rate study in the spring and maybe an adjustment for the next fiscal year. The app he's talking about that helps us be a lot more efficient. The software is very expensive. I had a lot of sticker shock. I think it's well over $150,000 to buy it and about $100,000 a year. So we'll be looking at
Is that
that.
mandatory? We have to do that?
No, but we have to analyze whether it's going to be cost effective in terms of reducing our need for manpower and accomplishing the third can pickup efficiently.
So we got
But there-
$150,000 to see if it's going to be cost effective.
No, if it's cost effective, we'll buy it and we'll have to spend that amount of money, but we'll be bringing that recommendation to you in the next 2 meetings, I believe.
Well, another thought is that, we have a lot of individuals who have a yard service. And we need to let the individuals who are contract out for yard service for their homes or whatever, to let them know that you put the leaves in, you either take the leaves with you or you put them in the green cans.
Right.
Rather than lay them out on the street.
Correct. And again, I know we looked into this program and it will, like, we don't have to hire another driver because we gain efficiencies. Like if it costs, a driver an hour or two, like sending emails and stopping and having to send emails or have phone conversations. Like if all that is done on the tablet or with the software, and then the reporting that is with a couple of clicks instead of having to go through paperwork or whatever, that's less people that we have to hire. Even though our driver maybe makes $50,000 or $60,000 a year, by the time you load his salary, that's double. So there's your $120,000 just by one person. So like we did do research about this and we did look into it. And we never spend money frivolously. Like, I know those trucks cost money, but if you look at our stuff, like we look good in Beverly Hills, we look good in Lemoore. Like we take pride in this stuff, like just like the fire trucks and anything else. Like we represent this community, we represent you, we represent ourselves. We take pride in what we do and we try to do it. Are we 100% perfect? No, but that's what we strive for. Again, we just want to be a partner. All in.
I saw the trucks at the summer bash. They were shiny. And I was told that our drivers are the ones cleaning those, and our drivers are the ones that are most of the time paying for the polish to polish those things. They were beautiful. Keep up the good work. Huh? That's crazy. That's good. They look beautiful.
No, we try to make our equipment last, like, so you give me.
How beautiful a trash truck can look, but you know.
We don't take anything lightly.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Department and city manager reports. Mr. Northcroft.
Let's start with police chief.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The flock camera system implementation is going well and on schedule. The admin users for the system received training today. And then the cameras themselves are going to be installed tomorrow and Thursday. And then they'll be 100% up and running. So there's a pretty quick rollout on that end. I went through the training myself today. Extremely user-friendly on our end, very searchable for those crime vehicles that we're gonna be looking for.
Where are those going to be installed?
Strategically throughout the city, 10 locations. Essentially every ingress or egress out of the city.
Makes sense.
I know it's a little bit out, but National Night Out has been scheduled for October 29th. PAL is starting back up on September 9th. And then the Brewfest is this Saturday out at Lions Park. We will be staffing that, so please drink responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And if our public works director, Frank Rivera, I think wants to give you a brief update on the water system and our street capital improvement plan.
Yeah, we got it going. And so, so start off with our crosswalk where there's 3 parts that are in back order. We should have those within the week, and then we'll open up the crosswalk. But we've had that sign out there for a couple of weeks now, just kind of warning residents of the new crosswalk. So hopefully in a week, we'll have the 3 remaining parts, and we'll have that activated and good to go. So D Street overlay project, the plans, 100% plans will be done in 2 weeks. We'll go out to bid. So around October, we will end of October, November, contractor will start on the concrete improvements, which is the curb, gutter, sidewalk, and then widening the road. And it depending on weather conditions, on whether we can pave, we'll either postpone the pavement until the weather gets warmer, or if things work out, we'll pave if you know our winter is dry and warmer than usual. So the 2024 street overlay project, that's going to start end of the month. I think there's a 30-day contract with that. That'll be slurring roads in all the PFMD zones, and then miscellaneous streets throughout the city. And then we have some curb, gutter, and sidewalk improvements over in PFMD Zone 2, which the trees disrupted the curb and gutter. So we're going to take care of that prior to the street project. Regarding water, the arsenic issue, we're just waiting for our final 2 quotes, which are due at the end of the week. We already have one. So as soon as we get the lowest qualified bidder, we'll move forward and start addressing our arsenic issues that we have in the city. I think that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Frank, what's going on? We had some trucks just south of Bush on 19th. Looks like they were in a manhole there.
On Bush,
No,
And
south of Bush on 19th.
there were some city trucks.
No, they weren't city trucks. That's why I didn't know if we contracted out for that.
Well, we did a couple of paving projects between the city.
They were inside. They had the orange fence and everything.
Oh, is that right?
They had
In
a
Bush?
tent- they had a tent up.
No,
No, not on Bush, on 19th.
on 19th.
As you're going south on 19th.
Oh. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not aware. Do you know anything going on? Yeah. I don't remember any encroachment permit for any utility that's doing any work. Yeah. There could be some survey crew out maybe to some survey for projects possibly.
They were, yeah, they were.
Sometimes they go in the manholes to survey. It's interesting.
We were in a manhole, but it was probably what, a week and a half ago. We were on Valhaven Bush.
No, that's not today.
Yeah, but, yeah. Anyway, anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of council, I have some quick updates. I'll try to be brief. I think the new electronic sign at City Hall was mentioned a couple of times. I invite you to go by and look at that. We're already putting quite a few things on that. I think it's a very clear sign and a very attractive one, easy to read, and hopefully it'll be another valuable way we communicate to the public of upcoming events and new programs. We do have a couple of things on it already. The September 5 reception for our new city manager, the community reception, just next door at the Civic Auditorium. That's Thursday night from 5 to 7. So we are trying to get the word out on that. Also on September 26th, you may be aware that the fire department is coordinating a 100-year time capsule opening at the old City Hall. I believe that's scheduled for 4 to 6 p.m. And that should be exciting. Speaking of the old City Hall, I'd hope to have the proposed lease with the county library. They need a temporary location while they do extensive remodeling and expansion of the Lemoore Library to you, but it's still between city attorney and county council discussion, but hopefully that will be coming to you in the near future, and that's expected to take, they're expected to operate that from basically the calendar year 2025. So it keeps traffic and customers in the downtown area and helps support the downtown very close to the location of the newly expanded library when it opens in 2026. Also mention our fantastic city clerk is due to return on Monday, which means our fantastic replacement, Crystal Schizler, is going back to her management analyst job in Public Works, which she never left. She did both jobs for these months, so certainly appreciate her efforts. I still have my hair because I didn't have to pull it out because I had an able assistant during that time. We're also, next week, we should have the glass enclosure and better security at City Hall in place that I think will be a benefit to our employees and recognizing some security issues we've had in the past several months. I think that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Consent calendar. Items considered routine in nature are placed on the consent calendar. They will be considered and voted upon in one vote as one item unless a council member or member of the public requests individual consideration. Item 4-1, approval minutes, regular meeting, August 6, 2024. 4-2, approval of the budget amendment for Bush Crosswalk. Does anybody want to pull any of those items? Is there a member of the public that would like to pull any of those items? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Orth and a second by Councilmember Garza. Councilmember Orth,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyons, sorry.
Yes.
I was gonna say Stewart, and that's not right. Councilmember Gornick,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. That says 5-0. We have no public hearings, no new business. Continued business, item 7-1, approval of agreement between the city of Lemoore and Community Showcase Banners to participate in Streetscape Banner Program. Ms. Bailey.
Madam Mayor, council members, I believe it was July 16th. I brought this to you. It's a program that doesn't cost the city any money. We can gain assistance from this GTI or CGI Digital Communications to create up to 6 banners. with the city design, and then businesses of the city's choosing will be contacted to participate in the program, and at their expense have a logo put on the banner. It's the city's intention to send out invitations to all Lemoore businesses, of course, so that they can participate in the program. Program will last for 3 years. The questions that were asked are what I'd like to address tonight. There were some questions about if the city, if there was a way that we could possibly do this ourselves, or possibly help bring revenue in with the program. And we could do a study, possibly use staff time or what have you, and try to figure out how to do this on our own and recreate the wheel. But in my opinion, I don't think that we could do what this company is suggesting that they can do for us without costing the city money, or do it as well. I did reach out to the company, and they said that the city could create revenue from it, but it would be passed on to the sponsor. So let's say we decided we wanted just $100, that the city wanted to get $100 off of each sponsor, that would be passed on to the sponsor. And that's not what we were looking for. We were hoping that this would be more of a community benefit to the community and our businesses. So that was the answer to that question. And then another question was monitoring what information is put on the banners, and we have 100% control over that. So if this agreement were to go into place, we would ensure that our sign ordinances were enforced, which doesn't allow indecent signage, any verbiage that doesn't benefit our community. I do have on the staff report on the second page that logos shall not promote the use of cannabis, tobacco, or alcohol. That we would incorporate that into our program. That's not to say that businesses that sell those things couldn't be a sponsor, but that we wouldn't have things that we maybe don't want our children to see. We don't want to promote those things. And then just one last thing before I ready to answer questions. On the pros to the program, this will promote community spirit and publicize positive goals and aspects of our city, such as buy local and local military. We will be reaching out to the Naval Air Station as well to see if they're interested in participating in the program. And then our city manager, Kevin, reached out to our incoming city manager, and she suggested that she would like to participate in the program, and will work with council in creating a program that works for everybody on that. So I'm ready to answer any questions if you have them.
Were there any additional questions from council?
I just have two. If I were a business, who's going to contact me about this program?
This CGI will contact you
Okay. And do we have any idea?
after working with us. So everything is, they have like a specific letter that gets sent out, and then the participant can go into the portal, they sign up, and then CGI works with us. They are in contact with the participant, but the city works with us on the logo and incorporating it into the sign. So we would be able to review the logos before they go out.
Do you have any indication of how many businesses would be interested in this?
No.
I believe we're guaranteed 25, so they hope to sell at least
Yeah,
25.
if there aren't any that want to participate, we still get 25 signs. So.
Any other
I
questions?
know I asked the last meeting when you presented it, did we look for other companies that do the same thing?
No.
Why CGI then?
This isn't costing the city any money and they have a really good reputation. The research that I have done, I haven't found anything that's negative. So,
Okay.
and our city manager is supportive of it.
We're not aware of any company that offers this. This is a national company that's recognized by the National League of Cities. What I'm really hopeful for is that this is kind of in my humble opinion, the city's headed in a good direction. We've got a new experienced city manager that grew up in our community coming to the city. We've got some economic development proposals, some new businesses that are coming. Hopefully this will help. I know the mayor and I are meeting with the chamber to try to get them back active again. I think this will be a sign of spirit in our community to maybe buy local, to recognize some of the local people in the community, to try to build that spirit in that good direction and keep it going in a positive way. And at least that's my hope.
It doesn't cost us anything. Not just in the financial aspect, but and it relieves us of any liability as well. So with them reaching out and doing all those things, they're the liable party. So I agree with Kevin. It's a start, let the schools participate. Let's get the community motivated. We've got to start somewhere. So they reached out to us and I agree with Kevin.
Is there any public questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and bring it back to council.
I motion to approve the agreement between the city of Lemoore and the Community Showcase banner, an affiliate of CGI Digital Communications LLC, to participate in a streetscape banner program and authorize the city manager to sign the agreement.
Great job. I have a motion. Is there a second? I'll second. So Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
I vote yes. Councilmember Garza,
Abstain.
Councilmember Orth,
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick.
No.
So it passes 3 yes, 1 abstention and 1 no. Let's see, city council reports and requests. We're gonna start off with Mr. Reed and his mosquito abatement report.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Last Thursday, we had our monthly mosquito abatement meeting. And we had our sexual harassment training presented by former city manager or city attorney, Ms. Lerner. And also there is some increased activity with the mosquitoes and the West Nile virus. So far, this district has only 1 reported case of West Nile. And we are still waiting on our FEMA funds related to the COVID. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No hold breath.
Councilmember Garza,
I have none tonight.
Councilmember Lyons,
Yeah, I spoke with Bobby Wartson and she wanted me to remind everybody that the Kings County Commission of Aging is having this senior picnic, and it's on Facebook on Friday, September 20th from 9 to 1:30 at the Burris Park. And she's going to have an Elvis performance, a cakewalk, informational booths, crazy hat contest, games, and food. So
Was there any rumor to the fact that you were going to do the Elvis impersonation?
I will not be doing the Elvis impersonation again. No, I did it once. Once was enough.
I heard some people wanted to have you back.
Well, my baby
September
left.
20th?
So.
Was it the 20th?
Yes, September 20th from 9 to 1:30 at Burris Park.
Councilmember Orth.
Yeah, last night or the night before last, when I was walking through my park, there's a total of 5 street lights in the park in my neighborhood, and 3 of them are not working. So I'm sure it's just has something to do with dust or something, but anyways. Other than that, The cart building downtown Hanford is coming up. I drive by it every day to check on it and it's getting big, so it's gonna be a pretty big event. I was very happy to be a part of everything to get that built, and they're moving right along, so we're hoping July of next year it will be open, so. That's it for me.
Councilmember Gornick?
Yeah, from the GSA or groundwater sustainability, that, as you can tell from the local papers, that's becoming pretty contentious, throughout the valley, dealing with the Tulare Lake Basin. I shared a article with the city manager and with the mayor yesterday. I had talked, one of the meetings, past meetings, about the fact that we need to think a little differently about how we acquire our water. And City of Porterville has launched an effort to do just that. They're looking at purchasing water, purchasing land, partnering with a water district in the event that things really get tight. 10, 15 years down the road, we have access to some other water. And so it's something for us to think about. It might be on another agenda soon, but we certainly need to do our homework about it. And most of the GSA is local farmers. And they talk about acreage and the amount of acreage. And every once in a while, I throw in the fact that there's 25,000 citizens and also have a water allocation per citizen. And you know, not nearly as much as the ag people, but we do have an allocation. So we have a seat at the table, but we don't necessarily have access to all the water. So we need to find some areas to do that. So that's it.
Thank you, sir. I attended the homeless collaborative meeting yesterday, actually. KCAO is moving forward with their low barrier shelter. Phase 1 of their big project is going to be in 3 phases. The low barrier shelter is the highest need right now, so that's going to be phase 1. They have all the funds except for about 500,000, so they're going to look at other sources, grants, or community support to help fund that. But they are moving forward with it already. They think by the time they get to needing that amount of money, they'll cross that bridge when they get there. The other 2 phases will come as money comes in. I attended a listening session at Lily of the Valley Church for their disaster preparedness. Also, Kevin and I, as I mentioned before, had a meeting with Abigail Solis and Cameron Forgy at the governor's office. We heard part of their presentation on Prop 1, which doesn't affect us too much here, but we also were able to share some of our issues and things that we're facing here in Lemoore. So that was good to be able to at least to have a seat at the table and be able to voice our concerns and what's happening. I also attended a Valadeo event in Hanford for their $7+ million grant for updating the street, 7th Street in Hanford between 10th Avenue and 43. It's going to be a long project, but sounds like they have the funds to get that done. And the chief mentioned the Brewfest coming up this weekend. And that is all I have for that. So we will, I also wanted to mention that I did go to the Helms Pump Storage Facility 40th celebration last week. If you're not familiar with Helms or what it is, there's a lake that's above and then a lake that's below.
Sean.
Yeah, at Washawn. When the water comes down, it produces power, and then at night when the grid capacity is lower, or grid strain is lower, they pump it back up, and then that produces power, and they're able to produce 1,200 megawatts of power, which could power the whole city of Fresno just from that one facility. So I know Nathan Alonso's not here anymore, but that's also something that's not considered renewable in the state. Their definition of renewable energy. But the engines the motors that they use are not huge. It doesn't take a lot to do what they're doing. But it seems like you could make a few more of them around state possibly, or expand that one, which I believe they are going to do, to just help with some of our energy needs here in California. And hopefully they're able to do that. So it was a nice little celebration, and got to see some of the employees were here from the beginning all the way through now. Some of them still are employed. And then some of them have retired, but it was just nice to see them acknowledge and celebrate those employees and everything that pump station is doing. So with that, we'll go ahead and go to closed session. Item 1, Government Code Section 54956.9, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of section 54956.9, 2 cases. Item 2, Government Code Section 54956.9, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, initiation of litigation pursuant to paragraph 4 of subdivision D of section 54956.9, 2 cases. Item 3, Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator, agency designated representatives, Mary Lerner, city attorney, and Kevin Northcraft, interim city manager, employee organizations, General Association of Service Employees. So with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn into closed session.